current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal for just $29.95 a month. Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live and save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Frustrated, angry, and scared, Haitians are demanding protection from growing gang violence gripping the entire country. The lawlessness extends far beyond the capital, Port-au-Prince.
Haiti's central region was attacked by some of Haiti's cruelest gangs over the weekend, killing men, women, and children, forcing survivors to flee into the darkness. Police made emergency calls for backup, but the bulk of Haiti's police force and the UN-backed Kenyan force are in Port-au-Prince, almost 2.5 hours away, and which itself is largely held by gangs. One survivor, Renee Charles, says, "Give me the guns, I'm going to fight the gangs. We've got to stand up and fight." Activists say they alerted authorities before the attack, but to no avail, and are urging survivors sleeping on the streets to sleep in government buildings for safety. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
News and analysis at townhall.com. A new Texas law restricts which restrooms transgender people can use in certain government buildings and schools.
The so-called bathroom bill requires people to use the restroom, shower, or changing room matching their sex assigned at birth. The bill does not include any specific guidelines for enforcement and does not punish an individual for using a public facility that does not match their sex at birth. However, facilities can be fined $25,000 for the first violation. Supporters say the bill will make public spaces much safer for women. Jason Walker reporting.
New York City officials say Starbucks will pay about $35 million to more than 15,000 of its workers in New York to settle claims it denied them stable schedules and arbitrarily cut their hours. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Tuesday morning, December 2nd, 2025. It's time for the Morning Rundown, which is brought to you every day at this time by our friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, here we go. Here's the Morning Rundown for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Number one, it's game day. Yes, Tennessee 7 special election today. Hey, here's the good news. No big weather problems. That means get out the vote for the GOP candidate Matt Van Epps. Look good. And, of course, Republicans tend to have a bigger turnout on Election Day itself. We'll see. If you have not voted, if you're listening, if you can hear the sound of my voice here and you live in Middle Tennessee in the 7th District, Davidson County, Montgomery County, Williamson County, the 11 rural counties just to the east and north of Nashville, you must go to the polls today. Polls have opened. They will close at 7 p.m. We'll have all the details here at TennesseeStar.com and the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We anticipate we'll start getting returns in about 7:30, early voting. And we'll talk about predictions here in a bit. Number two, Donald Trump has a cabinet meeting today. It's going to be public, open to press, and it'll be televised. It's his 9th public cabinet meeting since he became president again in January. The focus and the questions will be on Pete Hegseth and the phony Democrat attacks on the president's war powers. Number 3, the Tim Walz Somalian fraud scandal keeps growing and growing and growing. $1 billion scammed allegedly from Minnesota's Human Services Department, largely allegedly by the Somalian community there. Yes, the Somalian community. Number 4, we'll have a Tennessee 7 analysis and my prediction of how it's going to turn out today. Caveat, Republicans, you must get out and vote. Well, I'll be joined by Tom Pappert to get that detailed analysis at the bottom of this hour. Number 5, E.J. Host, the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy, will join us in hour 2. You know, she used to live in Minnesota. We'll talk about the mess in Minnesota with her and her take on the Tennessee 7 race today. Number 6, in hour 3, Clint Brewer will have his take on the White House pushing back on false narratives from the New York Times and most of the regime media. Also, his take on the TN7 race, and because he's a Tennessee volunteer graduate and alumni, we'll talk a little bit of SEC at the bottom of hour 3, and Lane Kiffin's LSU saga. And did I tell you Vanderbilt really thumped Clint's alma mater? 45-21? Yeah, really did. Okay, and we'll get to that in hour 3. Number 8, our own John Fredericks, who was here in hour 3 yesterday. We talked sports with John. He went right to the White House where he asked Caroline Leavitt in the White House about the Bad Journalism Hall of Fame website the website put up. So there you go. That is the morning rundown for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. It's brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport. Well, you know, they just came off this big Black Friday event where they had huge giveaways and lots of folks turned up. But now it's December, and all eyes are turning towards Christmas. Now, do you send out Christmas cards? I used to. I don't anymore. It's too much a bother. But a lot of people do. And at the Glock Store, they have a fantastic idea for your Christmas cards. It's called the Tactical Santa Picture Day. I laugh every time I hear about that. Now, it does cost $25, but they have a tactical Santa. It's Santa Claus dressed up in tactical gear. I mean, it's quite a sight to see. And you can go there for $25, and you and your family bring whatever you like, and you and your family can have photographs of you with Tactical Santa. Bring your firearms, bring your pets, whatever. It's going to be at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, this Friday and Saturday, December 5th and December 6th, and next Friday and Saturday, December 12th and December 13th. Tactical Santa at the Glock Store. And, of course, all of the great Glock products there that are brought to you by the CEO of the Glock Store, good friend Lanny McGill. And a tip of the hat to the merchandising and marketing geniuses there, Dan Jones in particular. Every time you turn around, there's something fun going on at the Glock Store. It was Black Friday last month, Tactical Santa this month. I think I got to go and get a picture with Tactical Santa, don't you? That'll be a lot of fun. All right, so there you go. That's the morning rundown brought to you by the Glock Store, glockstore.com. Okay, let's go take a look at now. We'll talk in more detail about TN7 and my predictions in our next segment and in the bottom of the hour. But let now. Yesterday, there was a big rally here in actually Williamson County in Middle Tennessee, which is part of this 7th Congressional District. Voting today. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, has spent all day yesterday in Middle Tennessee's 7th District with Matt Van Epps. Campaigning hard. The day began with this event in Williamson County, and Mike Johnson phoned a friend, a special friend. We'll hear that clip right now. Clip 1.
The Speaker of the House taking no chances. He's right now has his speakerphone on, and I believe President Trump is trying to address the crowd. Let's listen in.
He's managing, remember, he's got a majority of three. And there aren't many people can do that, but we have to win this seat. We've gotten you the largest tax cuts in history, and the new bill, the great big beautiful bill, kicks in, as you know, on January 1st. Hasn't even kicked in yet. And then you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. If you borrow money to buy a car, you get a deduction that's never happened before. All these things kick in on January 1st. A lot of people don't know. They said, oh, they already kicked in. I said, no, it doesn't start until January 1st. So that was the first date. I just want to thank everybody. I love Tennessee, one of my all-time favorite places. And Tennessee, I guess, loves me because we've won by the biggest margins anybody's ever won by, so that's cool. But if you can go, Matt Van Epps, he's a winner. He's going to be great. Don't let this stuff fool you. The Democrats are spending a fortune. And we don't want people that want to raise your taxes. She wants to raise your taxes on top of everything else. But she said two things above all else that bothered me. Number one, she hates Christianity. Number two, she hates country music. How the hell can you elect a person like that? I just want to give my total support, and he's had it right from the beginning, to Matt Van Epps. He's going to be a fantastic congressman. He's going to represent you so well, and we'll keep our agenda going. And I'm going to make a call tonight about 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm doing a tele-rally for him tonight. So if anybody wants to listen, basically I'll be saying the same things I just said. He's fantastic, and go get him and get out tomorrow morning, get out and vote. And let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district. The whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something, and it's got to show that the Republican Party is stronger than it's
All right,
ever
President
been.
Trump alive
Well, there you
at the
go.
rally.
Now, look, it's interesting. Look at the energy Donald Trump had on that phone call to a big crowd, and it came through. When we come back, we'll have more on TN7. Go out and vote today. You must vote today. Polls close at 7 p.m. The All-American Matt Van Epps, Republican, versus the homegrown Marxist Afton Bain. Back after this.
Ponder this. Most of us in America have more than we need to sustain ourselves, like a roof over our heads, food to eat, and clothes to wear, and much more. The one thing we seem to be lacking every day is more time. There is never enough time in our day, or in a night for that matter. That being said, we try to create more time each day by rushing around to perhaps buy a little more time. We rush from one event to another. We double or even triple task to save time. We drive fast cars to get to our fast food restaurants. Our days are full with little time left for family, friends, and God. To better manage your pace, take a minute each morning to get on your knees and let the Lord know that you are giving Him all your time today. Sincerely ask Him to give you clear direction on what He wants you to accomplish each day. The Lord will make sure you have plenty of time for His will to be done without rushing around. Listen to the Lord to manage your time each day. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Be Fur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BeFurAndAfterGrooming.com. Be Fur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
My Patriot Supply, America's most trusted survival food company, wishes you and yours a very Merry Christmas. As our gift to you, we've got an amazing deal on survival food kits. Buy one, gift two. That's right, for a limited time, when you grab our best-selling 4-week emergency food kit, we'll include 2 one-week kits free to hand out as gifts. That's 4 weeks of emergency food for you, and 2 ready-to-give gifts for anyone on your list who's into preparedness, or anyone who needs a nudge in that direction. But they're only available for a limited time. Grab yours at mypatriotsupply.com and give the gift of food security this Christmas. With 2,000 calories per day, 16 delicious meal and snack varieties, and up to 25-year shelf life, it's no wonder our 4-week food kit is the best-selling emergency food supply of all time. But the buy one, gift two Christmas special won't last long. So claim yours now at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
I didn't risk my life for this country just to watch career politicians wreck it.
Matt Van Epps, 9 combat tours, true American hero.
Now, I'm on a new mission to bring down prices, create good-paying jobs, and lower healthcare costs for working families. I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message to fight for America, because that's what I've done my whole life.
Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Okay, so we'll talk with Tom Pappert at the bottom of the hour with some new developments. But I wanted to kind of cover you on Tennessee 7 special election today. We've got Matt Van Epps, a West Point graduate, and an 8-tour veteran of wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and a strong Trump supporter and a Trump-endorsed candidate, against Afton Bain, the homegrown Marxist who hates Nashville but represents Nashville, who's never accomplished anything in the state legislature, who fashions herself as the AOC of Tennessee. And let's just sample a few of the sort of national commentaries on this. Clay Travis lives in this district. I think he lives in Williamson County somewhere. I know Clay, sort of. Met him a couple times. Nice guy, good guy. Of course, Clay and Buck Sexton combined to replace the legendary Rush Limbaugh. He passed away. And they're on, I think, like 500 stations across the country. Their first hour is our third hour. And so some of you may listen to him on the iHeart stations around town, around the country. A very, very good guy. He got started, with Outkick. He's a Vanderbilt Law School graduate. He went to George Washington University as an undergraduate. Vanderbilt University Law School. And practiced law for a bit. I think he practiced in the Virgin Islands for a while. Came back to Nashville and decided what he really wanted to talk to about was sports. So, but he got Outkick going, sold it to Fox, made a lot of money. Now he's talking about voting today in TN7. Here he is on Fox News last night.
I want all of you out there to listen to me carefully if you live in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee. Go vote, go vote, go vote. AOC, Sean, would be a more moderate congresswoman than this crazy chick that they are trying to put into office in my home state, in my home city, in my home district. I cannot have this chick, crazy as she is, representing me, Sean. I need all of you to get out and vote Matt Van Epps. I am going early in the morning tomorrow. I am voting for Matt Van Epps. This woman wants to defund the police. She continues to refuse to even condemn that opinion. Even crazy people in the Democrat Party now try and pretend they didn't say this back in 2020. She hates country music and bachelorettes. The reason the city of Nashville is partly thriving to such an extent, and this community is thriving so much, is because so many young women feel comfortable coming here because Nashville is a safe community. We want to make it safer. We want more police. We want people who respect the people in uniform who are already here.
Yeah. So this morning, somewhere in Williamson County, I think Clay's already voted, which is good. And it was probably a bit of a media event. We should have kind of coordinated with him, taken a picture, interviewed him, but we didn't. Because we didn't want to bug him too much, right? But I'm sure there's a picture of him out there. He makes a good case. And look, if you haven't voted yet, follow Clay Travis's example and go out and vote. I reside in a different congressional district in Tennessee. So I cannot vote in this. But if you do live in Montgomery County, if you live in the western part of Williamson County, the western part of Davidson County, or any of the 11 rural counties in between, and you have not voted, you just stop everything right now and drive to your local polling place and vote for Matt Van Epps, the Republican, for sanity in our country. Now, they mentioned how insane Afton Bain is. Here's another one of the, how many clips do we have of Afton Bain being insane? Here's clip 19 on police funding.
Crime is, of course, also was a major issue in the presidential election, and I know there are some old posts. You've been asked about those old posts a number of times. My question for you today is whether more money for cops on the streets in the district you hope to represent would help fight crime. Would you like more money for more cops on the streets in your district?
So those past comments were at a time when I was a private citizen, as an activist and organizer, and now as a Tennessee lawmaker, I represent 40,000 individual opinions and political thought.
Right,
and
so what do you think now? Would more money for cops be good or bad?
I think it depends on what the community wants. And so there.
Okay,
I
stop.
work with communities.
What a weasel. What a weasel. Should there be more money for cops? Well, I hated funding police before I got elected. Now that I'm elected, well, it depends what the community wants. Goodness gracious. A fundamental element here is funding police. By the way, the federal government, she's running for Congress, right? The federal government doesn't really fund police. It's state and local that funds police. That would be something if she were paying attention, she'd point out. Let's keep going on this. Oh, no. Are we done with her? We're done with her. All right, we can go on now to Tim Burchett. Hopefully, the voters of the 7th District will be done with her shortly. The polls close at 7 o'clock. Vote if you haven't. Tim Burchett, congressman from the 2nd District of Tennessee, was here in the Middle Tennessee yesterday campaigning for Matt Van Epps. Let's play that clip right now, clip 18.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. There's a big race in Middle Tennessee. My friend Matt Van Epps is running against a lady who, believe it or not, is about as far left as you can get, but is pretty much saying out loud what the rest of the Democrat Party says in private, I guess you'd say. And the sad truth is, we keep hearing all this talk about all these people moving in from, Los Angeles or Chicago or New York even, and how far left they are. And what I'm finding out is that they're not left. They're just trying to escape what's going on in their place. And every time I meet with them, they always say, please don't let this happen to Tennessee. That's why we left there. And the lady, back to my point, the lady who's running against Matt Van Epps was educated in Knoxville, Tennessee. Private school, but still educated here. And I think we better wake up, folks. They are here, and we have let the proverbial fox into the hen house, because you can't put this toothpaste back in the tube. We are in serious problems, and that race is going to be closer than it ever should have been. And we're just asleep at the switch, and this is what's happening all over our dadgum country. Y'all better wake up. We could lose our country. Reagan said it best. He said you can lose it. We could lose everything in one generation. Folks, we're 3 votes out in the House of Representatives. 3 votes. If we lose 3 votes, we could lose the republic, literally. These folks are, they want an open border. They want to defund our police. They want to do all those things that, we talk about, and using campaign literature, say, look out, folks, look what's coming. Folks, it is here. We better start paying attention, dadgummit, or we will lose our country. I always remember my dad praying one time at a meal when elections weren't going so well. It was a real simple prayer, and I pray it all the time. He said, Lord, please don't let us lose our country. Daddy was a combat veteran, and he knew what it was all about. So let's not lose our country, folks. If you know somebody in Middle Tennessee that can vote for Matt Van Epps, dadgum, tell them to get to the polls on Tuesday, because our country very well could depend on it. Thank y'all so much for sending me here.
Dadgummit. If you have not yet voted in Middle Tennessee, and you live in the 7th Congressional District, drop everything. And if you're in the car now, turn your car, wherever you're going, turn it to your local polling place and go out, get out and vote, because the left is getting out to vote. We'll talk with Tom Pappert with more details about that when we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, the website, TennesseeStar.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-746. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
The all-new Godzilla wins with Chris Saxman. Dude might say anything.
This week's monologue is brought to you by the rantings and raving that go on in my mind.
It's sports talk with a brain.
It's really important for America, sports, and the athletes that we have a fundamental change in collegiate sports.
Godzilla wins Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Godzilla Wins is available on X, Rumble, Getter, Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, and online at jfmn.tv.
And all across JFred's Media Network.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges. No charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul-off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Well, it's TN7 Game Day, the special election in Middle Tennessee. All the world is watching, says Donald Trump. We are joined on our newsmaker line right now by our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star, the one, the only, Tom Pappert. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael.
Well, Tom, let's take a look at Game Day. Now, there had been a poll, kind of a push poll, I think, from Emerson the Hill, where they voted, or basically undersampled, rather. They undersampled Republicans by a factor of about 10%, 12% in Tennessee 7, and showing it a very close 2-point race. Now, you had a little polling that we talked about of late that seems kind of different from that. Tell us about that polling.
Yes, this is some national polling out yesterday from Rich Barris. A lot of folks probably know him from his frequent appearances on Steve Bannon's War Room. And he's been kind of a worrier, Michael, these past few months about the president's polling, Republican polling. Well, as of yesterday, he put out his latest findings that Republicans are +6 when it comes to their certainty to vote next year. And when it comes to being extremely enthusiastic to vote for a Republican candidate, they're up 8 points over the Democrats. I think that this is largely driven, as Rich Barris said, by the tragic National Guard shooting last weekend, which of course drove President Trump to renew his promises and even make some new ones regarding immigration, both illegal and legal. And I think this is across the nation going to drive Republicans out to the polls, and I'm optimistic that will happen in Middle Tennessee in the 7th District too.
Yeah, I think we got a couple things going on today, Game Day. That poll was taken, November 24th, 25th? And it undersampled Republicans significantly. And it's been used by the left to say, we're in striking distance, we're in striking distance. Now, there were, 84,000 votes cast. We did the analysis there by the Democrat stronghold of Davidson County, Clarksville within Montgomery County, and then compared it to the Republican strongholds of Williamson County and the 11 rural counties. And it's a bit of a wash, I think, in terms of the early voting. Your thoughts on that, Tom?
I think that's the exact way to describe it. It's more or less a wash. What the Democrats really needed is maybe a third more votes in Davidson County than anywhere else in the district.
Mhm.
They've been hoping that if Afton won coming out of the early voting, then the Republican turnout on Election Day is always a little bit higher than Democrat. But maybe if they just did so well during the early voting, they could come away from this thing the victor, or at least within 2 or 3 points, which would invigorate the Democrats going into 2026. But what we saw, as you said, it seems as though it's about even. And Matt Van Epps could come out of the early voting tonight when Matt gets reported first. Maybe he'll even be tied with Afton Ben, which would spell, frankly, doom for the Democrats.
Yeah, and as you know, the polls close here at 7 p.m. There were 84,000 early votes. They will probably be reported in total. But some of the rural counties may be a little slow, but by 7:30 or 7:45, anybody around the country who wants to track this, just go to TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. We'll have live updates. And the first signal of how this is going to turn out will be, what it looks like by 7:30, 7:45, because all of the early votes should be reported by them. We should see about 84,000 votes cast, and I think, you're right. If Matt Van Epps is tied or close, he will win. If Bain has a big advantage, she would win. Now, there's some good news today on Election Day. Remember, Tom, that there were all these reports that we're going to have sleet and rain significantly today on Election Day. And typically, Election Day, more Republicans vote than Democrats. Well, guess what? It's not really raining. It's close to freezing in Middle Tennessee, but there's no really no rain coming down. There was just a little sliver of snow that kind of started for a bit and then left. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good day for turnout here in Nashville. Your thoughts on that, Tom Pappert?
Well, it's a welcome relief, Michael. Yesterday they were forecasting, of course, a wintry mix, which, as we all know, when the weatherman says that, it can mean virtually anything, and it's almost always bad. This is, though, why President Trump, John Fredericks, and so many others are pushing people to vote early. If we had all voted early, then nobody would have to worry about whether there was a blizzard on Election Day. But we have a bit of luck, a bit of providence today. I certainly hope the listeners will take advantage of it and go vote for Matt Van Epps.
Yeah, and I think the important thing here is Republicans need to get out and vote, and just don't sit on your laurels. Even though the district, went for Trump by 22 in the general election in 2024, the Democrats are spending millions and millions of dollars. They're doing their typical, focus on big picture issues like affordability, ignore all the craziness of the candidate. I have a sense on the ground, Tom, that in the past several days, the momentum has shifted towards Matt Van Epps. And let me tell you why I say that. Nationally, there has been a huge level of support for Van Epps. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson came in and campaigned all day yesterday in Williamson County and up in Montgomery County with Van Epps. The president called in. The president did a town hall. Then you've got really all of the media, Clay Travis and others, outlining what a crazy person Afton Bain is. So nationally, the support for the Republican candidate has been very good. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that's right. And, of course, all of that comes on the heels of Afton Bain's past remarks going viral and being aired on every news outlet, from this very news outlet all the way up to the very large Fox News. I think that is going to play a big role in the independents. That poll we were talking about earlier claimed the independents were going to break by, I believe, 51% for Afton Bain. Only about 35% were going to vote for Matt Van Epps. How is an independent voter, a fair-minded moderate, going to vote for a woman who says Nashville is racist, she hates country music, and the very air they breathe in the city is tainted with racism? It's just, I don't see it happening in a rational world where the voters are informed about the candidate, and frankly, I think they are. Meanwhile, Matt Van Epps is a terrific candidate. He's a 9-combat tour Army veteran helicopter pilot who served in Governor Bill Lee's administration. You can't, frankly, get much better credentials in 2025. He's somebody that Republicans can be excited to vote for. Afton Bain is somebody the Democrats have to hold their nose and vote for.
Now, here's something interesting. Another reason why, although I think the momentum is moving towards Matt Van Epps over the past several days, it's important that if you haven't voted yet, you get out and vote for Matt Van Epps. Why? We just got a communication from a quote, nonpartisan civic engagement organization, right? And they're basically they're setting up election hubs. Where do you think they're setting up the election hubs? Would it be in the rural parts of this district? Would it be Williamson County, which is strong GOP? Oh, no. It's in Nashville itself, which is, pretty much 2-1 Democrat, and the city of Clarksville in Montgomery County, which is about 60-40. Would you like to know the names of these, quote, nonpartisan groups? Are you ready?
I'm terrified, Michael. Let's hear it.
The Equity Alliance.
Doesn't that just sound nonpartisan?
Whoa, wait.
I never heard a Republican use that word, equity.
There's another group, the Tennessee Immigration and Refugee Rights Coalition, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Turk is involved in the election. So, in other words, Afton Bain is getting the support from all of the usual suspects, allegedly. They're not coming out and saying it, but all of the usual suspects when it comes to the far-left PACs and nonprofits that have dominated Tennessee politics.
Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and Northern Mississippi. Huh. Okay, the Election Day hubs are focused on helping voters to get the basics they need to vote. We'll provide, wait for it, on-site assistance with finding your early voting location hours, answering questions about voting rules, and ensuring residents feel clear and confident about and when and where to cast their ballot. This actually, okay, so the election hubs will operate 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. as a command center for, wait for it, election protection, communications, and access. Breakfast and lunch provided to volunteers. Okay, so here's the thing about this. This is that's basically all they're doing. They're actually, what's missing from this, right, is actually the get out the vote operation. In other words, call us and we'll send somebody to ride. So it's a little bit less robust than you might think. Your thoughts?
It seems certainly suspicious to me. I wonder what their reaction would be if some of the listeners to this great radio show were to call in. But I would just remind everybody, some of these entities, I mean, at least 2 of them that you mentioned, Turk especially, is taxpayer funded. They receive millions of dollars from the Biden administration in COVID money that they said they were going to use for legal services. I have to ask, is this a legal service? Is this a taxpayer subsidized effort by Turk for Afton Bain?
These are important questions that will be asked after Election Day. Now, Tom, if you can stick around with us, when we come back, I'm going to give you my game day predictions with a little caveat on the outcome of this election. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We'll be back with Tom Pappert after this.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com. The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Befur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BefurandAfterGrooming.com. Befur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We're joined on our Zoom Newsmaker line right now by Tom Pappard. Tom, it's prediction time for yours truly with a caveat. But before I get to the prediction, we are joined in studio by the one, the only, E.J. Haas, the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Welcome,
hello. I'm so excited for today.
TN7. Okay, So here's the caveat, and I'll tell you what. I talked to Lonnie Spivak, who's the most recent chairman of the Davidson County GOP, not currently chairman. They have another chairman right now, and he said he predicts that today Matt Van Epps will win by 15 points. That's what Lonnie predicts.
That's hefty.
I have a different prediction. I'm going to stay with it. same as I predicted yesterday. The caveat is if all of the listeners who have not yet voted get out and vote, as they should, I think Matt Van Epps will win by about 5 points. I think the turnout today, for early voting, the turnout was 84,000. I think that will be split evenly between Matt and Afton. And today I think we'll get 68,000 votes. And I think Matt will get 38,000 and Afton will get 30,000. Matt will end up with 52.5% of the vote. This is, prediction. And take it for what it's worth. Bain will get 46.5%. I guess that's 6%. And then we'll get 1% for other. And I think all the momentum is moving. It was for a while moving towards Afton Bain. It's moving towards Matt Van Epps right now. I can feel that right now. EJ wants to jump in. EJ, your thoughts?
51-48, Van Epps on top. That's my
by
prediction.
3. That's your prediction.
Yep, by 3. I would love to see it more like 6-8, but I'm just not buying that yet. I think there's just too much momentum in the Democrat strongholds in the district.
Nashville,
yep,
in Davidson County, and then Clarksville up in Montgomery County, which is Democrat like 60-40, maybe even a little bit more. Okay, so we've got a range of predictions. Do you have any caveats on that, EJ?
Fraud. I'm always worried about that. I'm always worried about cheaters. I'm always worried about, what shady tactics people will do, particularly on the left. So, there's always the assuming everything is on the up and up caveat.
So, Tom Pappert, you are the analyst, not a predictor. I've jumped in and done a little prediction. We've got 3 predictions here today. Lonnie Spivak at the high end, perhaps an outlier, as they say in statistics, with Matt Van Epps by 15. I've got Matt Van Epps by 6, right? And then EJ has Matt Van Epps by 3. What is your assessment of those predictions and what could possibly go wrong?
Well, Michael, I was just looking at some of the older polling from before this Emerson poll that really all the Democrats are very excited about. And Afton Bain's own campaign said last month, or rather late October, I should say, that she was down by 8 points. That was an internal poll that they released to the press in order to make it seem as though she actually had a chance. The previous poll showed that she was down by, again, 8 points. That was another internal poll released to try to get out her own vote. Mm-hmm. I'm beginning to see a picture here that perhaps this momentum toward Afton was not so authentic. So I think there is a real chance of that 15-point victory. My personal prediction would be somewhere in the 9 to 10-point range. I would say the thing to be concerned about is overconfidence. Republicans have seen Mike Johnson. He did a great job yesterday. They saw him in the district. They've seen President Trump in the district. I don't want the folks listening to think, well, with all of this support, maybe it doesn't matter if I go out there in the freezing cold today, because I think if what EJ said comes true and it's just a narrow victory, the Democrats will never let us live this down. If it is the 15-point victory predicted by the former Davidson County GOP chair, well, then the Democrats will have to go back to the drawing board for 2026. They no longer have a winning message.
EJ?
Yeah, I think the fact that the President of the United States has made several phone call appearances, the fact that they brought Mike Johnson here for 2 days away from D.C., all the other big names being brought in, basically begged to get this push at the end, lets me know that Republicans are concerned about this seat, which leads me to think that, yes, the margin of victory is smaller than that 8%. I have to think that it's much closer just based on activity.
Yeah, and really, I mean, what data points do we take, right? We've got some polling. We analyze the polling results. It's very hard to get an accurate poll in a congressional district size, right? But then also we listen to what people say, and people talk, and then we go out and observe a little bit. We don't really have enough data points to have a strong level of confidence in these predictions, I think. But look, I think, to me, I have a little different take on all this. I don't care if the margin of victory for Matt Van Epps is 1 point. The unique elements of this, the fact that the special election's on December 2nd,
Excellent point.
Millions of dollars have come in from the left. That doesn't bother me. Your final thoughts on this, Tom Pappert? We got 30 seconds.
I think it's going to be a big day for Republicans. If this goes well at all, then this means the MAGA agenda continues going into the new year and into the midterms. Republicans need to turn out and vote. You can't let a crazy person represent you, Tennessee 7.
Well said, Tom Pappert. Thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Up next, we'll have a full hour with the one and the only E.J. Haas. Back after this. Oh, something crazy going on in Minnesota.
Always something crazy.
Always.
In Minnesota.
Back with E.J. Haas after this.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not. So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com. HEALTHYCELL.com.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio.
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Amid the Russian military's claim of a major advance in eastern Ukraine, President Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff has been meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, discussing a revised U.S.-brokered peace plan for Ukraine. Former President of Honduras has been released from a U.S. prison after getting a presidential pardon.
Juan Orlando Hernandez was sentenced last year to 45 years for helping drug traffickers move hundreds of tons of cocaine to the U.S. But he's a free man now after Donald Trump granted him a full and complete pardon. The president said he took the action because he believed the former Honduran president was set up. His pardon of a convicted drug trafficker comes at the same time as the Trump administration is taking military action against drug runners in the Caribbean. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Quoting President Trump, "We have enough problems. We don't want those people." Mr. Trump standing by his decision to put a hold on offers of asylum to people from the third world. His decision follows a shooting allegedly by an Afghan national of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. One of the shooting victims died. The other remains hospitalized in serious condition, although he's said to be showing encouraging signs of improvement. The Great Midwest Snow Machine has now moved into parts of the Northeast.
For the interior locations, so generally from Northeast Pennsylvania, upstate New York, the Catskills, into central New England, there could be a period of heavy snow with snowfall rates over an inch in an hour at times, and this will be occurring generally during the afternoon and evening hours across the Northeast.
Rich Otto with the National Weather Service. Stocks higher on Wall Street. The Dow is up 271 points. The Nasdaq ahead 211 points. More on these stories townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of The Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving your money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Last week's deadly fire in a group of high-rise residential buildings in Hong Kong is focusing attention on the practices of the city-state's construction industry and regulation of the industry.
Hong Kong's chief executive has launched an independent inquiry into the causes of the blaze. He said that was needed to expose the truth. Mr. Lee acknowledged that mistakes had been made. Officials have said that substandard building material contributed to the spread of the city's worst fire in decades. Tests show that a green mesh used on the building and a type of insulation foam helped to fuel the blaze. More than 150 are now known to have died, and at least 13 people have been detained.
The BBC's Danny Vincent. Before departing Lebanon, Pope Leo prayed at the site of the 2020 Beirut port explosion, calling for justice for the victims. He met with the families of the 218 people killed. News and analysis at townhall.com. Every year has a word or words.
Oxford University Press has named rage bait as its word of the year, capturing the internet zeitgeist of 2025. The phrase refers to online content that is deliberately designed to elicit anger in order to drive traffic to a particular social media account. Rage bait topped 2 other contenders, aura farming and biohack, after public comment on a short list compiled by lexicographers at Oxford University Press. The word of the year is selected by analyzing new and emerging words of cultural significance. Keith Peters, Washington.
There's word of a deal under which the UK secures a 0% tariff rate for all British medicines exported to the U.S. for at least 3 years. It's in return for the UK investing around 25% more in new and effective treatments, creating more jobs in the U.S. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the one, the only, the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, E.J. Haas.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, E.J.
Happy Election Day.
It's
again,
a big day.
It's like Groundhog Day in Middle Tennessee. We've had primary, then we had BOMA elections, for those who don't know, the Board of Mayors and Aldermen. So we had that kind of stuff going on, and now we have a special election. I think we're a little electioned out in
Electioned out, and yet we must run through the tape. If you're listening and you have not yet voted, and you live in the 7th Congressional District of Williamson County, parts of Davidson County, Montgomery County, all the 11 rural counties in between, turn your car around right now and go to the polling place and vote for the Republican, Matt Van Epps. We are sitting in the presence of a bit of a local celebrity, E.J. Haas.
Stop.
Yes, E.J. Yesterday, I can say this, and the reason I can say this is because John Fredericks owns all of these radio stations, not Cumulus, not iHeart. But there is a big radio station in town. I've been a talk radio station for, I think, 40 years now. It's got a booming 100,000 watt FM signal, great signal, that goes from Kentucky through Nashville all the way down to Alabama. And they've been live and local, 99.7 WTN, for 40 years, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., live and local. And yesterday, our official guest host, was a guest host for one of the shows over there. And what I want to do in this segment, EJ, is apparently everybody wanted to talk about the 7th Congressional District special election. Is that right?
Yeah, it is correct. We had quite a lot of feedback. I got feedback on X, of course, and they have a text line and things like that. So, yeah, we got a lot of comments and people asking questions about what was going on.
Okay, so what did you hear from people calling in? I think you tried to talk to people who were residents
Correct.
Of the 7th Congressional District.
I did. Yep. So I took a different approach to this. So we talked earlier about Donald Trump being, a big presence, making his endorsement, as well as showing up for live telephone town hall type things, and Speaker Mike Johnson being
was here
in town, here in TN7.
He was in Williamson County in the morning. Had that phone call with President Trump, held up his... That's
big rally yesterday,
Yeah,
so
big rally. Lots of people there.
Lots of people there. And odd bedfellows, right? So multiple people running for governor against each other.
And they were both
there. Because Unity. That's how important it is.
Unity was the thing.
So it was impressive. Yeah. It was impressive. But those are all the big names. And you're going to hear the Laura Ingrams and the Sean Hannitys and, all the other names out there that everybody knows. What I wanted to do was talk to people who are the local leaders, the people who actually get out and talk to the people who are going to be voting
today.
Voting
either
today
have early
or who
voted.
have been. Yep. So talk to someone from very rural Perry County.
That's one of the 14 counties.
Yep, and kind of listen to what they were saying. So I live in Williamson County.
One of the 14 counties.
Yep, and it's the largest county represented, but only part of it is in TN7, so it is a little awkward. But Davidson and Montgomery and Williamson, we're getting a lot of mailers. We're getting a lot of news. And when you're watching your streaming services and whatnot, they are definitely hitting us hard ads for both candidates.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find out, what does Perry think? What's going on way out in Perry County?
Okay, what does Perry County think of this election?
Not nearly enough awareness.
Really?
Yeah. From the boots on the ground out there and someone who is like a local GOP leader type, they just said, it's really been up to us to get the word out, which in a smaller rural county, probably you can do that because neighbors talk to each other. They see each other at church. They go out to dinner. They have their bridge club, whatever it is. And so, those kinds of things are happening out there where individual people on the ground are the ones talking to each other. So that reminded me of two big things. One is that don't assume everybody knows that there's a special election today, even if you're in Williamson or Davidson or one of the more populated.
Even if we have been talking about it nonstop for 3 months.
Yeah, this audience knows. But your job as this audience now is to go out and talk to the people who might not know.
Right.
Or remind them
Your
that,
friends.
hey, today's the last day.
Well, talk to your people that are Republicans.
Yeah, right. Right.
Your friend. If you have a Democrat friend, today would not be the day to encourage them to for civic participation.
Tell them, I don't know about that election. Maybe next week.
Well,
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we can't do that.
I'm kidding. But so then I talked to like a county commissioner, and she reminded me
from Perry County,
from Williamson actually.
Oh,
but
Williamson
she
County.
lives far out. She's got it's Lisa Hayes. She's got a really cool background, small business owner, kind of out, I believe it was Leapers Fork or like maybe even a little further out in Williamson County. And so anyway, her background is terrific. I know that she's got boots on the ground. I know that she listens to the community. So I wanted to have her on and see what is she hearing from people.
And what is she hearing?
Pretty much the same sentiment is that,
Really?
that awareness is there, like with the ads and the people who are getting those. But if you're kind of out in rural Tennessee, maybe not as much. But she reminded me of something really important. And I say this often, and I wished I had remembered to say it more yesterday. There's a lot of sentiment out there where Matt Van Epps is not like this exciting candidate to get behind. that it's, he's kind of boring, soft-spoken, like choose your pejorative. Well, that's okay, I think, right now. We don't need a bombastic, kind of out there flamboyant
You need to vote
Republican.
for Trump's agenda.
Right. We need someone who will actually listen to the people.
And by the way, I will just say this. I would, those people who would say that, having had him on the program many times, I would take exception to that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a very strong, very America First member of Congress.
I think you're probably right. I've definitely learned a lot more about him. I did think it was impressive that yesterday those who ran against him in the primary were out to support him and have been making phone calls and were attending the rally and encouraging people to vote for him. So he's got the support of really good conservatives. I would just say this too, like, it doesn't end today. Like, when he wins later, fingers crossed, how about you like make an appointment to go talk to him? Just give him a call, send him an email, let him know that you have opinions about what you want him to do when he gets to DC. That's what he's there for. That's what they're all there for. And this might be one of the best opportunities to get a hold of a new congressman before they get sucked into the DC.
Well, the other thing about this is immediately he goes up, he gets sworn in. Immediately he has to start running again,
right? Because
for election to a full term,
right?
And the primary is in August. Tick-tock goes the clock.
That's right.
Now,
yeah, and we can thank Dr. Mark Green for that.
I see a little gritting of the teeth there.
I'm so angry at him for putting the district through this because he can't keep his own personal life in check. I'm just disappointed in him.
Are you saying that we have a green problem?
We have a green problem because I'm also angry with Marjorie Taylor Greene
That's
for
what I was
doing the
getting
same
at.
thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Stick together, team.
It's a 2-year term, people. If you can't commit to 2 years.
All right. When we come back, we're going to shift. We've had enough TN7 for our first hour and 15 minutes. We're going to talk about the fraud, the billion-dollar fraud in Minnesota that Governor Tim Walz either was not aware of or wink, wink, let happen.
He was aware.
Oh.
He was aware, and
Back
there's
after
documented
this.
proof.
Back after this with the one, the only E.J. Haas.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth,
You go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet, perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off, bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Get in. We're stealing homes. We're not like those other home criminals that steal your stuff. We steal your hard-earned home equity. We find your property online from the public record. Got it. Create a deed transfer that makes us the homeowners. Got it. And borrow tons of cash against your equity, and you won't know till the foreclosure notice hits months later.
Just go to HometitleLock.com/Godzilla. Protect yourself.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
I didn't risk my life for this country just to watch career politicians wreck it.
Matt Van Epps, 9 combat tours, true American hero.
Now, I'm on a new mission to bring down prices, create good paying jobs, and lower healthcare costs for working families. I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message to fight for America, because that's what I've done my whole life.
Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, E.J. Haas. Now, it's true you once lived in Minnesota.
It is true. Those were dark days. I'm just kidding. Most of Minnesota is actually very cool place to live.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's
great lakes.
Very, very pretty. Lots of lakes.
Land of 10,000 lakes, right?
Yeah, and also 10-pound mosquitoes. But yes, it's a pretty cool place to live and raise children for sure.
Except there's $1 billion of fraud going on there, and most of those allegedly engaged in the fraud are recent arrivals in the past 20, 30 years from
Somalia.
Third world blank hole, Somalia.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. And now the governor there, Tim Walz, says, well, if there was fraud, there were others, including Somalis, that were, it wasn't just Somalis, he said. I don't know, it's like almost all Somalis.
Almost all. I mean, there's almost 80 defendants that are going through the court system right now. I think it's like we're up to 75 maybe.
So 5 non-Somalis.
And like literally 2. It's like this Amy Bach person who is running part of it. Can I tell you kind of how the scheme works for those who don't know?
Okay, what is the scheme?
So there's a couple of them going on up there, which is why they're saying that it's, upwards of $1 billion. So we know that at least $250 million dollars were fraudulently taken from the state of Minnesota. Ultimately, though, remember, this is COVID relief money, so we're talking about federal dollars.
So the feds send $250 million of COVID relief money to the state of Tennessee, state of Minnesota rather, which then distributes it
Correct.
to these various non-profits.
Correct. One in particular called Feeding Our Futures.
Hey, isn't it good to feed our futures?
Yeah, we're supposed to feed kids.
Feed kids. And so they gave this money to did they feed kids with
so
it?
here's what with the scam. This is how it works. They would set up, and by they I mean the Somali leaders, the people who wanted in on the scam, would get their paperwork together and set up a food distribution center of some kind. Now, this was supposed to be like when the schools were closed and they, the big thing was we're feeding every child in Minnesota. Remember, Tim Walz made a big deal out of that during the campaign.
Yeah.
We're feeding kids. Okay, well, actually, no. Because what they would do is these individual centers and the people running them would take the money, claim that they were feeding, say, 3,000 from this center, 1,500 from that center, whether it was daily or weekly or whatever. They would inflate the numbers but never feed anybody. So they were taking all the money, but they weren't actually executing on the Feeding Our Futures mission.
When I was in business school and I took accounting 101, there's something called audit.
Yeah.
Right? And so basically when you're auditing the books of, let's say, for instance, there's a famous case of an oil company that claimed it had these great big containers of oil. You see them around, big ones.
Sure.
That they had like 100 of them filled with oil. And it was worth, millions of dollars. Well, one of the auditors went out and went into these big oil tanks.
And what did they find?
Nothing. They found nothing.
Yeah.
It was a huge fraud.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
That's basically it, right? I mean, that's it. There's more to it, though. So take the autism centers. So in 2018, there was a $3 million budget in the state of Minnesota, Medicaid, essentially.
$3 million?
$3 million in 2018 was spent on autism centers helping families with children with autism.
Oh, that's such a nice thing to do.
It's a wonderful thing to do.
Because,
Would
kids
you like
with
to
autism need help.
Take a guess, 5 years later, what that number is?
200 million.
The claims rose from 3 million to 399 million by 2023.
Gee, I wonder what happened.
What happened was the scam. Primarily Somali population got together and created quote unquote autism centers. And they said that they needed culturally appropriate centers for the autism community, it's Somali autism community. And so those claims.
Hold it. There's let me just run the numbers.
Yeah.
There are about 100,000 Somalis in Minnesota.
If you believe, right, documented.
Maybe
if
more.
you believe that number,
You think it's like 200,000?
I think it's a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't report births.
Oh, that's right.
There's
they got
there's
a
a thing there.
They got a lot of, shall we say, cousins involved in reproduction activities.
Who, oddly enough, they have the highest Muslim population countries. This is documented fact. Have the highest population of marrying first cousins. Highest percentage of marrying first cousins. So they probably do have a high autism rate. I'm not trying to be funny.
There's
that's
a punchline in there somewhere. I'll
that
avoid
is
it.
that
for
is
the
it.
moment.
So back to your point about Walz, though. So these scams are happening, right? That's millions and millions and millions of dollars that are going to people who, in some cases, and now this is coming out. There's been talk about DOJ doing some research and whatnot because they're sending money to Al-Shabaab, which is a terrorist organization.
Al-Shabaab is a terrorist organization. I had somebody ask me, who's Al-Shabaab? No,
it's
Al-Shabaab is a terrorist organization.
So I actually did investigative research on that years ago with an organization, conservative publication that's now defunct. But I did some research. There were some local news stories talking about women whose children, they were worried about their sons because their uncles were taking them without their knowledge, kidnapping them and taking them to train with Al-Shabaab in other countries. So,
in other words, these were Somali kids
and this was
from Minnesota who were Somalis.
Yes. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what when they come back, what do they do?
I mean,
when they come back to the United States, what do they
radicalize if they come back at all, right? So this is a problem on multiple levels. It's not just that they're taking the money; it's what they're doing with the money. It's truly horrible, but it's a culture thing. They come from a place that is corrupt, and so it's almost ingrained in them that they are takers.
Of course.
This is just what you do. This is how you get ahead.
But Somalis built America, according to
Yeah.
It's a grift.
It gets worse.
It's a giant grift.
It gets worse. There are 480 DHS workers, so Department of Human Services workers, in Minnesota who tried to be whistleblowers and have documentation that they've been sending this information to Governor Tim Walz.
Oh, and has he read it?
For years.
Has he read it?
And his staff. You'd have to ask him if he actually took the time to read it. But there's no doubt that he had to have known that something was going on. In fact, one of the people who was like accused number 58, I think is how they say it.
Defendant.
Right, in the Feeding Our Future thing, Governor Walz gave that woman a entrepreneurship award for the Feeding Our Future.
For being a champion grifter,
yes,
allegedly.
So it's no chance he doesn't know what's happening under his watch. No chance whatsoever. But
so what is the Democrat Attorney General?
Keith Ellison,
what's he doing?
He used to be a rep in Ilhan Omar's district.
Yeah.
Same scenario.
It's his job to enforce the law.
Right.
Is he enforcing the state law there?
Clearly not. Actually, there's a video out now. There's some calls that maybe it's not as authentic or maybe it's taken out of context. But it's pretty clear that he is working with the Somali community to get people who shouldn't vote to vote. And so registering voters fraudulently and things like that. So the problems in widespread. There's probably no accusation you could make that people wouldn't be like, yeah, that tracks.
Are the prosecutions being done by the Attorney General's office of Minnesota or by the Federal Department of Justice?
Yeah, we're talking about federal stuff here. And actually, Scott Bessent has weighed in, Treasury Secretary now, talking about money.
I saw that, but he's got a Treasury investigation into it.
Correct, right? Into the Al-Shabaab money. You've also got Secretary Duffy, Transportation Secretary, who's looking into the CDLs, the commercial driver's licenses for illegals. So
illegals in Minnesota?
That's what it sounds like. They're investigating that. DOJ is investigating. So, yeah.
Basically, blue states are centers of fraud of all sorts.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. We'll have more with E.J. Haas when we get back.
If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing works, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength, dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical-grade ingredients for powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for visible and lasting results. Experience clear, confident skin with the Wellness Company's Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. U.S. residents only. Head to twc.health/Godzilla and use code Godzilla to save $20 off, plus free shipping.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
Each of us is born with 30 trillion cells that make us. These cells determine how we feel, perform, sleep, focus, and how long we live. And to live our best life, all we have to do is feed our cells properly. But most supplements don't reach our cells, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Make every cell count with Healthy Cell. Founded with a mission to empower people to take control of their own health at the most fundamental level, the cell. Dr. Vincent Giampapa, world-renowned cell researcher and medical doctor, created supplements that work at the cellular level to support immune health, better sleep, sharper focus, and healthy aging. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com, HEALTHYCELL, and use code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke, she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Hi, everyone. EJ Host here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere. Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio, EJ Host, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. EJ, I think it is safe to say that the Democrat Party at the national level, with the exception of Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, has become an insurrectionist, anti-American propaganda outfit.
Agreed.
And Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona, who's a complete jerk.
Yeah.
By the way.
True. Very arrogant and kind of always has been. That's not new.
Beyond arrogant.
Yeah.
That guy who is clearly trying to establish himself as a potential presidential candidate.
Yeah. He loves the attention he's getting right now.
Continues to basically undermine the military here in the United States. And we've talked about this before.
Undermine the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A clear violation of, as you pointed out, U.S. Code, 18, Section 2387.
Correct.
You cannot encourage insubordination, which he does literally every day with great arrogance and great perceived authority. Here is an example of his latest pitch on that. Clip 3, let's go with more. We call this more Kelly insurrection.
This guy is so unqualified for the job. I mean, think about this. He runs around on a stage talking about lethality and warrior ethos and killing people. We have the most competent, capable military this planet has ever seen by far. That's not the message that needs to come from the Secretary of Defense. The message should be about what's our mission and accountability and the rule of law and training. And let me make sure you're equipped to do really hard jobs. Let me give you all the tools you need to do something that often is an impossible mission. And instead, he runs around on a stage like he's a 12-year-old playing Army. And it is ridiculous. It is embarrassing. And I can't imagine what our allies think of looking at that guy in this job, one of the most important jobs in our country. In my view, after the President of the United States, it is the next most important job. He is in the National Command Authority for Nuclear Weapons. And last night, he's putting out on the internet turtles with rocket-propelled grenades. I mean, have you seen this? This is the Secretary of Defense. This is not a serious person. He should have been fired after Signalgate.
Okay, so he doesn't like...
He's revealing everything in that clip.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so first, that last part, he should have been relieved after Signalgate, right? Obviously, this whole ploy, I think, probably run by Brennan, John Brennan.
Former CIA director.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
and a group
who voted for the communists in his first election, 1976.
Yes.
And who has also gone public many times with his love for the beautiful religion of Islam.
Yep. So, I mean, these are not good people. These people are not compatible with the American way of life. So he's revealing kind of the end game for them, which is to get rid of Pete Hegseth. That's not new. I don't think he's going anywhere. Second, they can't take a joke. Like, of course, that's not serious when he posts a meme, but boy, did it get under your skin, and he played you like a fiddle, didn't he? Pete Hegseth did. So that was pretty revealing. Also, when he's talking about the president not being fit or qualified, let's remember we're supposed to have a citizen at the head of our military. It's set up that way on purpose so that we don't have some sort of, militarized government, right? Like, that's kind of how it was supposed to work from the get-go. So interesting that he's using that language. And then finally, I would say, I think that probably at some point, Mark Kelly, had some dignity. I have to
really?
think.
You think?
Maybe. I mean, maybe when he was younger.
I don't think he ever had any dignity.
I don't know. I can't help but think that somebody makes it to this point in his career, in his life, and his accomplishments without having some sort of honor. But it is 100% clear that Donald Trump has broken him, that his brain is broken now. And I think it's sad. I think he probably just needs to softly go away. He thinks he's more powerful than he is, and he just got trolled with a turtle meme. You are not a serious person, Mark Kelly.
And by the way, so, I mean, Mark Kelly served in the Navy during the first Gulf War.
Yep.
A long time ago. And but Pete Hegseth has served in Iraq in combat, in Afghanistan in combat. That's a serious guy.
And the troops love him. So that brings up the last point too. He was talking about what our enemies think or what his mission is and what he should be saying. He should be telling every enemy we have on Earth that we have a strong fighting force and that we shoot to kill. Hello. That's kind of his job, is to protect the homeland. Like, you've got one job, Pete Hegseth, and that is to protect the homeland.
Yeah.
And he seems to be taking that job very seriously. So I'm confused by the language with Mark Kelly because I don't think he's supposed to be revealing so much, but he can't help himself.
The problem also is Kelly is setting forth an unconstitutional view of the president's war powers.
Yeah.
And Wes Hunt, a congressman from Texas, I think he's a military veteran as well. I think he's running for U.S. Senate in Texas, had this to say about the president's executive authority. Clip 9.
And shutting down parts of immigration when in the national interest. Do you agree with that assessment? President Trump can take executive action as he's planned to do.
Of course, I 100% agree with that. That's why he is our commander-in-chief, and he has the latitude to look at a situation and know that if it's an issue of national security, it is my number one job to protect my fellow Americans, and he will act accordingly. Mark Wayne is exactly correct. You are exactly correct. That is fully within his jurisdiction, and if I had an inkling, he's probably going to exercise it.
Congressman Wesley Hunt bringing a lot of passion.
There you go. So let's talk about the president's executive authority. Venezuela.
Yeah.
Right now. It's a narco-terrorist center, right? And so they've been shipping drugs into America. We've got a military operation going there that the president has the authority to do under the War Powers Act. Basically, he can go out and if there is an imminent threat to the United States, he can exercise as commander-in-chief his authority under the War Powers Act. He's got 48 hours to inform Congress about it, and if he's going to leave troops there, he's got 60 days. But it's not leaving troops in foreign area. But so the deal was now they've been blowing up these narco-terrorism boats. Oh, all of a sudden now the big deal is they're coming after Pete Hegseth.
Yeah,
they're claiming that because here are the details. They're micromanaging the operation of the military from safe seats in Congress for political purpose.
Right.
So apparently in one of these drug dealing boats that was blown up, there were 2 survivors. And the admiral in charge ordered the destruction of the boat, and the 2 survivors apparently were killed. Now they're trying to claim that this is like Nuremberg and the Nazis.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Crimea River on that, right? These are the same people who think a botched abortion should end in killing a baby. So spare me your tears and clutching of pearls over some narco-terrorists. Listen, if the point of the mission was to eliminate the boat and its occupants, are we supposed to care how many times it takes them shooting it? Other than the fact that, like, maybe I'd like us to be more precision accurate, but, like, I don't care if the original order was to take out the boat and its occupants, and that mission was accomplished with one shot or 2. I guess I don't understand what the big deal is.
Well, it's political.
Of course it is.
And by the way, I watched recently a movie. The movie kind of got panned, but it was a movie about the first spy. An American woman called Axis Sally. I think her name is Mildred Gillers in her trial. She was putting out Goebbels propaganda to American troops. You listen to what she was saying. It sounds over the radio in World War II.
Yeah.
Sounds very similar to what every Democrat, except for John Fetterman, is saying about the president of the United States today.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it goes so much deeper, too. You're right. It's global. So did you know that Mark Kelly has a twin brother?
Yes.
And do you know what he does?
Doesn't he sell arms to foreign countries?
Ukraine. So Zelensky hired his brother or proposed to Mark Kelly's brother to do some sort of propaganda campaign. So this is global in nature.
No kidding.
The audience is global.
We'll have more with the one, the only, E.J. Host after the break. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Ponder this. Most of us are familiar with social media influencers. You know, people that claim expertise on some probably irrelevant topic. Many hours are wasted following people online who do not add an ounce of value to our lives. There is only one influencer who matters, and you should be following him and his messages every day. He holds the keys to our peace. He shows us how to live lives of meaning. He is there to help us carry our daily crosses. He is Jesus Christ, and he is the influencer extraordinaire. Are you one of his followers? Or are you wasting time with useless information that will not bring peace and love to your life? Ask the Lord each day to provide you with spiritual influence that will change your life forever. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Befur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BefurandAfterGrooming.com. Befur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
Let's be real. Losing weight isn't just about looking good. It's about taking back control of your overall health. 42% of adults in America are classified as obese, and obesity is directly linked to severe health issues. If you've tried diets and different workouts with no success, it's not your fault. Big Food and Big Pharma have rigged the system against you with contradicting information, leaving you confused. But there's good news. The Wellness Company just launched Drop, a GLP-1 peptide oral drop formula developed by their chief medical board, specifically designed to support your metabolism, curb cravings, and help you shed weight. That's right, no injections, no risk of the severe side effects we're seeing with the Ozempic. Start your weight loss journey today and get $100 off, plus free shipping. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla100. That's twc.health/Godzilla, promo code Godzilla100. Take action today for a healthier tomorrow.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Well, E.J. Haas, when we won the Dow Prize for local journalism, nationally, the very best local journalism in the country, it's the real alternative these days to the Pulitzer, which is given to people for lying, basically.
Sure.
Regime media. We have an
for
example.
Clicks. You get it for clicks.
I said, I had a very brief acceptance speech, and I said, when we started the Tennessee Star 8.5 years ago, we had two things we want to accomplish. One, find the truth. Two, report on it. Mm-hmm. They have a different view of that at the Minnesota Minneapolis Star Tribune. It's the legacy
Minnesota Star Tribune now.
Minnesota Star Tribune. Yeah, it's basically I don't know. Just tell us what they're.
It's a rag. They don't actually report on, they don't investigate anything. It's just a big fluff piece for the DFL. So Democrat Farm Labor is how they call the Democrat Party in Minnesota. So this I found hilarious. Their headline yesterday: "Don't blame the entire Somali community for the deeds of some bad actors."
You mean 76 indicted defendants in $1 billion scam?
And that's only one scam. There's going to be more.
How do they take themselves
Minnesota
seriously?
values, not fears, must lead us through this moment in which fraud cases have led some to ugly and untrue descriptions of the Somali community.
Oh, give me a break. Minnesota values? I think the problem is it's the lack of traditional Minnesota values and the invasion of Minnesota by Somali values, which is basically grifter central.
Well, and this is how you get somebody like Tim Walz reelected. This is how you get an AG that is Keith Ellison. This is how you get an Ilhan Omar. They're never really vetted by your local news.
Yeah.
That gets all the attention. I'm going to bring up three people, though, if you don't mind, real quick,
sure.
or three publications that put this stuff out there a long time ago. This fraud scandal, Ilhan Omar's past was thoroughly vetted, and Powerline Blog is one, PJ Media is another, and Alpha News is another. Those are all Minnesota-based publications that tried to sound the alarm, but they were stuffed by, state-run, basically, Star Tribune.
Well, you know why Alpha News is so good? Because their editor, Anthony Gakowski, got to start with us at the Star News Network.
Oh, really?
That's why they're so good.
was unaware of that.
That's why.
But these are independent people who were putting this stuff out years ago. So you want to know why some of us are super frustrated? I told everybody about Al-Shabaab. Nobody listened to me. We had, these people, this woman, Preya Samsundar, putting stuff out about Ilhan Omar. Very, very good in-depth reporting, backed by, logistics.
Facts.
And and she was ignored. So, I mean, you've got good people out there trying to do it, but boy, they are just shut down by the media in Minnesota.
So we've got a real problem here with unassimilated foreign-born residents in the United States.
That is true.
We're at, I think, 16.5%, 17% of the population is foreign-born. And they do not embrace the values of America or of Western civilization. And I think it's time to shut off all legal and illegal immigration to the United States. And I think President Trump has said it well in a social media post just a couple days ago. It's time for reverse migration.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we can start with the temporary protective status.
Yeah.
It literally says temporary. So let's
Boom.
put a definition on that. What does temporary mean? And if your time is up, your time is up. That has to happen. If you are, and I say this, undocumented, I don't mean necessarily illegal, but if you are undocumented because your family has been here for 30 years and your birth was never recorded, that we have to have some sort of a plan for that. If your family is then going to be deported, you're going to have to go with them.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting because you got this birthright citizenship case that's coming up before the Supreme Court. There's a 14th Amendment which says if you were born within the jurisdiction of the United States, right, you are entitled to become an American citizen. Now, what's interesting about this, back to what you're talking about, in the Somali community, there are a lot of children born, but not registered with any county or civil.
Yeah, and it's
authority.
not just the Somali community. That just happens to be my experience and what I've researched. But there are other immigrant communities that have a similar just way of life that they, they.
So, in other words, if you were physically born in the United States, but there's no official record of it, you're not. You were not born in the United States. You can't prove it.
You can't prove it, right?
Yeah.
So that muddies the system quite a bit. But I think we can start with temporary protective status. I think that'd be a good place to start. Define temporary, and then obviously deport.
Okay, one
those
last
that
thing.
shouldn't be here. Yeah.
If you are listening and you have not voted yet in Tennessee 7 and you live in the district, go and vote right now. Stop your car, turn around, go and vote.
For Matt Van Epps.
Of course, for Matt Van Epps.
Thanks for having me.
E.J. Haast, a pleasure. As always, up next, the one, the only, Clint Brewer. Back after this.
The Katz and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York State.
Dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Katz and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from Gloucester, Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks.
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis, News Talk AM 760, AM 730, The Flame.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. If the initial tallies hold true, it was indeed a green Cyber Monday for America's online retailers.
Adobe Analytics reports as of 6:30 Eastern Time Monday evening, Americans had already spent $9.1 billion online. That was up 4.5% from last year's Cyber Monday, and that was with another 5.5 hours to go in the Eastern Time Zone alone. Online spending was expected to peak between 8 and 10 p.m. local time, wherever that may be.
Correspondent Ben Thomas says Adobe Analytics expects Cyber Monday sales will hit $14.2 billion by the time it's all added up. Economist Steve Morris says strong numbers underscore what he's been saying for some time.
Incomes are up almost across the board, and this is a healthy economy, despite what the media is telling us.
Stocks doing well on Wall Street. The Dow is up 131 points. The Nasdaq right now up by 95. Tennessee's 7th Congressional District is in the national spotlight today as voters decide who will replace retired Republican Representative Mark Green. We'll soon know whether peace will be returning to Ukraine after almost 4 years of war. President Trump's special envoy set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The details from the BBC's Steve Rosenberg.
This will be Steve Witkoff's 6th visit to Russia this year. He'll be accompanied by President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Their trip comes at a time of intense diplomatic activity. 2 weeks ago, the Americans presented to Kiev a 28-point peace plan, widely seen as heavily weighted in Moscow's favor. Since then, there have been US-Ukrainian talks in Geneva and in Florida. Now an amended plan will be put to the Kremlin. President Putin has said the original draft proposal could form the basis for future agreements, but he has shown little desire for compromise.
More at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of The Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving you money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
There's a new airport fee of $45 for Americans who cannot produce a real ID.
Real ID has been required since May, but passengers without it have been allowed to clear security with extra screening. According to the Department of Homeland Security, 94% of passengers already have real ID. The $45 fee is meant to get those 6% without it to get it. Real ID is designed to meet enhanced requirements mandated in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. It shows up on IDs as a white star in a yellow circle. TSA officials say paying the fee does not guarantee verification, and travelers with identities that cannot be verified may be turned away. If approved, the verification covers a 10-day travel period. Ed Donahue, Washington.
New York City officials say Starbucks will pay $35 million to more than 50,000 New York City workers. That's to settle claims it denied them stable schedules and arbitrarily cut their hours. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Frustrated, angry, and scared, Haitians are demanding protection from growing gang violence that's been gripping the country from one end to the other. The lawlessness extends far beyond the capital city, Port-au-Prince.
Haiti's central region was attacked by some of Haiti's cruelest gangs over the weekend, killing men, women, and children, forcing survivors to flee into the darkness. Police made emergency calls for backup, but the bulk of Haiti's police force and the UN-backed Kenyan force are in Port-au-Prince, almost 2.5 hours away, and which itself is largely held by gangs. One survivor, Renee Charles, says, "Give me the guns, I'm going to fight the gangs. We've got to stand up and fight." Activists say they alerted authorities before the attack, but to no avail, and are urging survivors sleeping on the streets to sleep in government buildings for safety. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. It's Tuesday, hour 3, which means in studio, fully recovered journalist, good friend, Clint Brewer. Welcome, Clint.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
It's game day. Election game day.
It's game day again. It's
Here.
election day again. Again.
TN7. You have been observing and reporting on elections in Tennessee for several years.
Yes.
Decades.
Reporting was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
How is this election different than most of the elections that you've seen in your career?
Well, in a way, it's a throwback. I've been an active professional observer and or participant in election cycles since, well, for the last 30 years, since I was a young reporter. And, you know, I have not seen a Democratic campaign this energized in Tennessee since Harold Ford's Senate bid against Bob Corker. I have not seen...
That would be what, 2004? When was that?
8.
2008? Yeah.
6.
I think 2006.
6. And, I mean, that was almost 20 years ago.
Hope for the good old days of a Democrat by the name
well,
of
I mean,
Harold Ford.
that was their last gasp, right? I mean, that was...
Yeah.
That was, I mean, you could point to former Governor Bredesen's run in 2018 against Senator Blackburn, but I did not see the level of enthusiasm by Democrats in that race even. And it was a statewide. I mean, this to give the Democrats credit, they are very energized. They are working really hard. There are messages everywhere. I mean, I like most people, I watched nothing but college football on Saturday.
And you had a lot of ads.
And it was tit for tat. It was a Matt Van Epps ad. It was an Afton Bain ad, back and forth and back and forth.
So let's talk about the Afton Bain ads that came out. Ignoring, if you will, the messenger being a complete lunatic.
She's talking about the economy.
She was. They were well done ads.
They are. Well, and they're on message. I mean, they're talking about
affordability, the mess in Washington, and now she won't. She's a far leftist nutcase.
They're talking about the economy.
But did you notice that they had sort of the Hollywood presentation of Afton Bain? By that I mean, I'm sure they had they had the soft focus on her. They had she was dressed very sharply.
Yeah. And
they had a little bit of an angle. Did you see at the very end of one of the clips, she gave a little wink to the camera?
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's a young person. I don't think they need the soft
36,
focus.
37.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they need the soft focus on her necessarily. She's not Cokie Roberts, but you know, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, look, this is a national campaign for the Democrats. This is like their Super Bowl, and for this this schedule of off-cycle elections.
They're all in.
Yeah, they're all in.
Now, by the way, I just got a message from our close friend Riley Gaines, who I met at an event that you and I were attending.
I met her there too. Yeah.
A little while ago. Very impressive person. I just got a text from her, literally, during this program. It's Election Day. Hi, it's Riley Gaines. You better believe I'm going to do everything to stop a critical Trump seat in my own community from flipping to a woman who says men can have babies. And it's a very long one. Basically, it says, get in, go out and vote today.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we are. Every election day comes down to voter turnout.
Yeah. Did you look at the early voting numbers, by the way?
Yeah. I mean,
and what's your analysis on that?
Well, I mean, you know, there's a heavy blue city in Nashville in the district, and there's a purple city in the district in Clarksville. And
isn't the city of Clarksville in Montgomery County? You say purple. Is it purple or purpley blue? The city itself.
You could make the argument either way. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, look, these off-cycle elections ahead of a midterm are always used as a barometer for the party that's out of power and their ability to get back into power in the midterms. The timing of former Congressman Green's resignation was not helpful to the Republican Party.
You're being kind.
I am being kind. You know, Matt Van Epps has actually proven to be an exceptional candidate.
He's a very good candidate, isn't he?
And he's done a great job. But you know, you've saddled through Mark Green's resignation. What was it? A few months into his second term. You've saddled the president and the speaker and the candidate with an enormous task.
Yeah.
I mean, the district is plus 20 Trump from the last election. He won by 22 points in the 7th, and I mean, I believe Matt Van Epps is going to win, but you know, the margin will not be what it would be in an on-cycle election.
Yeah.
And, you know, Democrats, even if they lose, are going to use that to the narrative they're trying to create, which is they can play in the South and they can play in red states.
So I've talked to a lot of people about this. I have a different view on that.
Okay.
I think a win is a win. And so take the win and go on to the next. I don't think it says really they may try.
I don't think it says anything myself. I'm telling you what they're going to use it for.
Well, the good point. They will try and use it for that. But just like they use, the poll that undersampled Republicans that showed they were within 2 points, that was used for a purpose. And, I think you're right. They will try and use it. If the margin is single digits, then they will try and use it, right?
Right.
If it's very, very close, they'll use it even more.
But don't you agree the timeline has hurt the party in this case?
You mean a special general election 3 weeks before Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to put together a perfect storm of awful, this is pretty close to what you'd have. The only thing that would be worse would be if on election day it was a blizzard. It's not a blizzard, but it's kind of cruddy out here in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I think Republicans need to keep that in mind. I mean, this entire sequence of events and the incredible amount of resources, including the speaker's time, the president's time that's had to be levied against this race, I mean, it all came from the sort of, I don't know what you call it, Lane Kiffin-esque withdrawal from Congress by Mark Green, Oh,
that is an interesting comparison.
Well, I mean, you leaving.
By the way, we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin in the
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think it's. I think that Republicans need to take the win, like you said, and keep moving. Democrats are going to, regardless of it, if they get this into single digits, it will be one of their primary talking points going into the midterms.
Yeah, I think that's going to. It'll be a talking point. I don't think it'll have the impact. It
might have the impact with donors. Frankly,
it
might.
Mean,
they've had trouble raising money.
Well, that's a very good point.
And you just in an election, in any contest, you just try not to give your opponent anything. And
but here's the thing:
what this timeline's done.
By midnight, 1 a.m., we'll know the answer.
Yeah,
tonight.
Think it'll be that late?
On to the next. I don't know. I mean, I think we'll have an early indication when all the early voting comes in. If we should be like 7:30, 7:45. And there's 84,000 early votes. If Matt Van Epps is even with Afton, it's going to be a good night for Matt Van Epps from the early voting. Right?
Yeah. Early voting's high in Montgomery and Davidson County.
And Williamson. And
now Williamson helps Matt.
But it's also high in the 11 rural counties. We looked at the numbers. So I think it's kind of a wash. But we'll know the answer.
We will.
Tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. All right, when we come back, some of your commentary on what's going on in the world of media today.
Okay.
Back after this with Clint Brewer.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, TIREGET.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
I didn't risk my life for this country just to watch career politicians wreck it.
Matt Van Epps, 9 combat tours. True American hero.
Now, I'm on a new mission to bring down prices, create good-paying jobs, and lower healthcare costs for working families. I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message to fight for America, because that's what I've done my whole life.
Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We're talking with our good friend Clint Brewer. Clint, Trump won, but the regime media is still extraordinarily biased. And it's almost like the reporters, the producers, they all go through a certain school of bias. And they accept that bias, and then all of their reporting follows it. Case in point, I'm going to show you, this is a reporter from CNN. Her name is Eva McKend. She went to Swarthmore, an elite private school.
Oh, yeah.
From which, then she went to graduate school, Syracuse University, the Newhouse School of Communications. Then she went and
named after Al Newhouse,
yeah,
the founder of Gannett.
Yeah. Then they went to, from there, she went on to start up the chain as a television reporter.
Right.
She ended up at the CBS affiliate in Burlington, Vermont, WCAX, which is across the lake from where I grew up in Plattsburgh, New York. And then she's a CNN Washington reporter now. Listen to how she described the problem with the Afghan community these days.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Let's play this clip right now.
This is really the worst case scenario for every Afghan immigrant in this country. You know from covering immigrants and other marginalized communities that often when these episodes happen, folks kind of hold their breath, praying that it isn't someone who holds their identity, right? Because often there is this reflex to to demonize entire communities. And so if you've never had that experience of sort of holding your breath, that's something to think about. But I just got off the phone with Molly Gray. She is the executive director of the Vermont Afghan Alliance. And actually, she tells me that Vermont is home to the largest population of Afghans in the nation per capita. And so she does work with these communities. They are frightened. Some of them are not leaving their homes out of fear of retribution. But also, many of them are deeply integrated into the small towns across the state at this point.
Okay,
and
so let me just stop. So the Afghan refugees just like arrived here 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and, and now this typical, left-wing journalist is saying because an Afghan refugee murdered a National Guard member in D.C., the deeply integrated into the little small towns of Vermont, Afghan refugees there who've been there for all of 4 years are now afraid to go outside.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is certainly some truth to the idea that whenever any type of person commits a crime like that, and they're in a minority class, they're somebody readily identifiable by their religion, their dress, their skin color. I think there is, I think what she says, there's truth to it. But if they're deeply integrated into those small towns, they're small towns. People should know them, so they really shouldn't have to hide, right? I mean, I'll say this: Nashville has the largest population of Kurdish Americans and Kurdish expatriates of any community in America. Mm-hmm. They actually, when Iraq holds an election, they actually hold one here. And the Kurdish members of our community have been here for 40 years. And, they own businesses, they pay taxes, they raise their kids, they send their kids to college, and they don't run in fear when something happens. Of course, Kurdish Americans don't tend to go around killing people like that either. They're very pro-American.
Yeah.
They came here because they were being persecuted by Saddam Hussein in Iraq, and we've armed their paramilitary groups to fight back against Hussein back during the war. So I think that it just doesn't hold true to me. If they're integrated into these small communities, small towns, everybody.
Yeah.
And so I just don't. It just seems like sort of virtue signaling of some kind.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to call it, but it just and then the answer is from an NGO. Well, I don't know too many NGOs who ever actually want to solve the problem.
No, they don't. They want that problem to expand.
Yeah, right.
So they can get more money.
I'm not sure that if I had heard from some mayor in some small town who happened to be Afghani and he had that to say, I might believe him, but not quoting some NGO from Burlington.
On the media beat here. So yesterday in hour 3, we were talking sports actually with John Fredericks, who owns.
He's a huge Titans fan, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he is. With nothing to cheer about.
Long-suffering Titans fan.
We'll talk about sports, you and I, in our next segment. But right now, we had him on a Zoom link. He was on the front lawn of the White House in hour 3, and after half an hour with us, he went into the White House briefing room. And like half an hour later, he asked this question of Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The White House today launched a new fake news portal, which I found interesting. What is your objective with that, ultimately? And are you going to name the news networks? And are you also going to name some of the correspondents, some which may be here today?
Yes, we are. I'm glad you noticed. Much to the dismay of some of your colleagues in the room, John. And I think it goes to our original promise on day one to hold the media accountable, because unfortunately, and we deal with this all day, every day around here, there are so many fake stories that are unfortunately written that have inaccurate characterizations of meetings that took place, and it's all based on anonymous sourcing. And the standard for journalism, unfortunately, has dropped to such a historic low in this country. And again, we deal with it every day, where you can have an anonymous source who has no idea what they're talking about, zero credibility, call up a reporter in Washington and say, hey, I heard of this, and then the next thing you know, it's on the front page of the New York Times. It's really incomprehensible. We appreciate the journalists, some of those who are in this room who do reach out for comment, who try to get things right, and there are some that remain. But overwhelmingly, the fake news that we see pumped out of this building on a day-to-day basis, it's honestly overwhelming to keep up with it all.
Your thoughts on this? The business of citing sources.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are members of the press who think a fake news list on the White House website is a terrible thing. I don't think it's as bad as the Obama administration trying to persecute in federal court leakers to the media and their sources. I don't think it's as bad as the Obama administration who actually put journalists in jail. You know, so I mean, you know, it seems to me just like they're pushing back using the apparatus that they have available, which is the bully pulpit of the presidency.
It gets to the issue of sources, right? I mean, we've been doing this now for 8.5 years in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And so if we cite a source, our listeners, our readers know that our source is somebody. If we say there's somebody, you know, in the governor's office, they know it's somebody's in the governor's office.
Right.
Or if they say a source with knowledge of the situation, they know it's a source with knowledge of the situation. By the way, this little Dow Prize that we have here for national journalism, we got that because we broke a story that started with a source familiar with the situation, that the Biden-era FBI ordered the Tennessee Highway Patrol to release Kilmar Abrego Garcia, for instance.
I mean, look, there's a role for anonymous sources in journalism. Sometimes you can't get to a story without it, but it comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to the track record of the journalist in question. Do they tend to get those things right? You know, I mean, like you can take almost any thesis that you dream up, and if you've heard one person say it, you can find 3 more people to say the same thing. Yeah, I've heard that. So you can report, you know, in X administration, governor's mansion, White House, legislative body, people are saying this, you know, and make somebody look bad. I mean, it's easy to do. And you just have to be, as a reporter, very judicious in your use of them. And you have to maintain your own credibility by being right.
See, that's in our deal, right? I can tell you that we will use sources and not name them, but describe generally if they're familiar with the circumstances.
Yeah.
And people know that every story what we've done, when the final details have come out, it's been verified that we were correct.
Yeah, and you've got to keep in mind is your anonymous source, do they have some motivation or ulterior motive
which they often do
of their own to be leaking in the first place, right? Yeah. So if they make person X look bad by helping your story, does it help them on some other front? Often it does. But you've got to develop enough sources. You've got to maintain your own credibility, and you have to be right when you use them. Your reporting has to prove out to be true.
See, a lot of the regime media guys, though, because they've got these big outlets, a lot of their reporting turns out to be not true, and they just keep rolling.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why Carolyn Levitt's doing this. Okay, Clint, when we come back, SEC football. Particularly, we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Going to LSU. And we're going to have to talk a little bit about the stomping a certain team got from another team here in Nashville.
We're not going to talk much about it.
We'll talk very little about that. Back with Clint Brewer after this.
EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
So, Clint, a couple years ago, I had never been to Oxford, Mississippi, where the Ole Miss campus is.
Yeah,
I went down. What a wonderful town that is.
That's a great place.
Beautiful campus.
Great place.
And it's, let's just say, there's a lively social scene there for the undergraduates. Wouldn't you say?
There's a lively social scene for the parents. I mean, it's a fun place.
It is a fun place. And, of course, Ole Miss Law School. John Grisham went to Ole Miss Law School.
Yeah.
A lot of folks. A lot of people in Tennessee. Our DA here in Davidson County, Glenn Funk, is a graduate of Ole Miss Law School.
Gotcha.
Now, and you have family that's attended Ole Miss.
Yeah. My daughter's an undergrad. Now she's at Tennessee for law school. My son's a current undergrad there now.
And he's having a great experience.
Yeah, they both had fantastic experiences. And it's a really good school. I mean, you get in the right program, it's terrific.
So, no, they play football there, SEC football.
My children don't, but
I know,
the school has an SEC football team. Let's clarify for the listeners.
They won the national championship in 1960 when Johnny Vaught was the coach there, I think.
Yeah, long time ago.
Long time ago. And then, of course, Archie Manning was such a great quarterback there. His son,
Eli Manning was a really good quarterback.
Eli Manning was a really good quarterback there as well. This year, I don't know how we can say that, the bad boy of football coaching, Lane Kiffin, who's had a colorful and checkered career.
Yeah.
He's the son of Monty Kiffin, who was a big defensive coordinator.
Monty Kiffin created the cover 2 defense.
Yeah.
He's arguably the father of the modern defense.
And so Lane's his son.
Yeah.
And Lane actually was, in his early 30s, was the head coach of the then Oakland Raiders.
It didn't go well.
Got fired like after a year,
Yeah.
right? And on the tarmac.
Oh, USC fired him on the tarmac.
Oh, USC tarmac.
After he left my alma mater, the University of Tennessee, after coaching for 1 season.
Got him 7-6, got a better deal, left him in the lurch.
Yep.
And so then he got fired at Southern Cal, and he was really...
Well, he got put into the Nick Saban School of Coaching Rehabilitation.
Right.
They took him on staff at Alabama.
Yeah.
He was the offensive coordinator, won a couple national championships there as an assistant. Then went to Florida Atlantic, where he did a couple of seasons as a
Did
head
well
coach
there.
again.
Goes into Ole Miss, and he's been there for 6 years. And basically he tells them, I need a lot of NIL money. And they give him a lot of NIL.
They give him everything he wants.
Everything. He's making like, I don't know.
He's making almost $13 million a year.
Already.
Yeah.
And so they're 11-1 this year.
They're going to host a home playoff game.
Maybe. I mean, they're currently scheduled before he skipped town. He decides, because he leaves in his wake people who hate his guts. Mm-hmm. Every one of his
everywhere he goes.
Everyone. I guess they don't totally hate him in Alabama, but they're not sending him birthday cards, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
So here he is. They're 11-1. They're poised to compete for the national championship. LSU fires Brian Kelly,
which they should have.
Yeah, which they should have. They owe him like, I don't know, $40 million, some big number. He was not a great LSU coach.
No.
They were, they won, I don't know. He was like 7-4 every year, something like that.
Yeah.
And they fired him. And so now the hot coach is Lane Kiffin. And they steal him. And I don't think he's making more money, but not necessarily a lot more money. And he just tells Ole Miss, I'm leaving, goodbye, good luck. And they say to him, buddy, you're not sticking through here. We would have matched the money. You think the lights are brighter in LSU. What a debacle that is.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. And he tried to threaten Ole Miss with taking all their, coaches and some of their players if they didn't let him coach the playoff games in the playoffs if they won. And I mean, look, it was no news to me because I'm a Tennessee fan and I've lived through this once 15 years ago. He's a bad person. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. Lane Kiffin is a bad person.
Selfish.
He's
in this case. He's a very good football coach.
At 50 years old, he's an entitled brat, and I just cannot. My late father was an LSU grad, and it was a diehard LSU fan. So this jerk has now touched every college football program my family cares about. And I just wish he'd go away.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wish he ought to be coaching, middle school football somewhere.
Well, he's not going away.
Yeah.
But and his departure, his rationalization of it. We was interviewed by ESPN as the plane's waiting for him to leave. The athletic director said, "Buddy, if you're leaving us,
get out.
Midstream, get out. You are not coaching. You're not going to use Ole Miss and all the money we put in to bring in these guys.
Yeah, to poach them.
To take them and to do a commercial for you to go to LSU."
Well, and we often talk on this show about the failures of the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Possibly one of the worst aspects of this entire sequence of events was on Saturday, where all of the ESPN announcers for College Game Day, including Nick Saban, his former boss, were engaging in hours of Lane Kiffin apologia.
That's exactly what it was.
And saying that they were blaming the calendar for this. So what they're trying to say is because the transfer portal window is 2 weeks in January, in order for him to get in place and get a team together for next year, he has to do it during the season. and that's why all these big schools, the 4 SEC schools in Penn State and UCLA, all fired their coaches mid-season, which we've never seen before in college football.
This level of firing.
It's like the English Premier League. You lose 3 games and they
Boom,
fire
you're
you,
gone.
right? And so, now they're right. The calendar is an issue, but, it would be one thing, like the last time this happened was ironically with Brian Kelly. He was the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. This was under the old 2-team playoff system. The Bearcats were the 3rd team. They weren't going to play for a national title. Essentially, they were going to play in the Sugar Bowl, which was nothing but a high-level exhibition game.
Right.
And so he left before the bowl game.
And went to Notre Dame.
Now, that was standard back then.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't playing for a title, but nobody playing for a title ever leaves before the title runs over.
Well, until Lane Kiffin left.
Until Lane Kiffin. No head coach.
Yeah.
Right. You might see coordinators leave for another job. But this is a new wrinkle in college football, and I think it just points to what a mess college football is. But it also points to the fact that, this last year, all we've heard about is how Lane Kiffin's gotten sober, and Lane Kiffin's reconciled with his ex-wife, and Lane Kiffin's all about his kids and his dog, and it's just this 12-month media blitz of positivity around Lane Kiffin. Well, here's the thing. Drinking Lane Kiffin from 15 years ago when he did to Tennessee is no different than sober Lane Kiffin now. He did the exact same thing 15 years later.
Yeah.
And so this is just who he is.
Yeah.
He's just he's not loyal. He doesn't care about the fans.
No.
He's a bad person.
Yeah.
And you got to know that going in. And guess what? As soon as the Alabama job's open, he's going to leave LSU.
Of course.
He's just going to drive right across the line and go to. And they won't even have to send him a plane. They can just get him a Tahoe. I mean.
Well, so the thing about this, he also is kind of a self-indulgent narcissist in the way he described all this.
Oh yeah.
He said the way he framed it is
he blamed it on the athletic director for Ole Miss.
He did. He said, "Well, I wanted to coach the team for the playoffs, but they wouldn't let me."
Well, the stories coming out of Oxford now is that the players didn't want him there. So these teams now have these things called a players' council.
Yeah.
Where it's like the captains of the team and some other senior members of the team. It's sort of like the player. It's like an extended group of captains in the locker room. Well, he wouldn't meet with the players. He never met with his players before he left. He never told them.
Right.
And they can. There's a story. I don't know if it's true, but there's a reported story coming out of Oxford from media there that the Players Council confronted him, went to his house.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is just who this guy is.
Well, because all those, you think about it. Now they're getting NIL money, all of them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's substantial. The money comes from the donors of Ole Miss.
That's right.
Right, to build the championship team, and it succeeded until now.
Yeah.
And but he clearly made certain promises to these recruits. An implicit promise is, "I'll stick with you till the end of each year." That would be an implicit promise.
Well, but here's the thing. So I've watched a lot of commentary on this. The one that sticks with me the most is former Pittsburgh Steelers head coach and Super Bowl champion Bill Cowher.
Yeah.
On CBS Sports on Sunday. He lit into Kiffin, talked about how he had broken his promise to these kids.
Yeah.
Broken his promise to the fans. And essentially, he did the worst thing you can do in sports. He quit.
Yeah.
He quit.
Yeah.
And I mean, he quit on his team. And
he quit on his team.
And he put himself above the team, which is everything coaches tell players not to do.
And which he does every time.
And I mean, look, I hate it for LSU because
he'll be gone.
They've gotten a low character individual as their head coach, and he's going to run the program that way. And you got to remember the guy as a head coach has never won anything. His resume looks like? It looks like as a business owner, as a manager, one of those resumes that comes in where everybody stays at a job for a year, maybe 2 at the most. And you go, I'm not hiring that guy. You just you just round file the resume because they don't stick anywhere. Ole Miss was the longest he'd ever been anywhere.
6 years. Yeah. And 11-1's pretty good though.
11-1's great, and he was going to play for a national title, and he quit.
That's the thing that's just hard to imagine. I mean, if he was a person of character, he would say to LSU, thank you so much for your consideration.
I've got a championship to win. And when we win this national title, come talk to me.
Yeah, that's what he should have done.
That's what he should have said.
But he's a low character
guy.
And
the thing is, they're capable of winning the national championship.
Well, they were. He's taken now all of his offensive staff with him.
Right.
And so basically he told his offensive staff, including Charlie Weiss Jr.,
yeah,
right? He said, guys, if you want to work with me at LSU, you're going to be on the plane with me tomorrow.
Right.
And they all were. Now,
well, I don't know about all of them, but Charlie Weiss was. I don't know who else was.
I think they all were.
Right.
And so, I mean, that puts Charlie Weiss in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Right? Because he
doesn't know if he's going to have a job when a new coach comes in.
His wife told him, you got to get on that plane.
Yeah.
That's basically it. But he's probably, that would be a very uncomfortable spot to be.
Very uncomfortable.
And on that note, okay, does he win a national championship at LSU?
No.
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 Yeah.
He won't stay long enough.
He won't stay long. And on that note, we'll come back with News Potpourri.
Solti have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Solti, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Solti has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. I've had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Solti for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Solti and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old, and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Solti, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Solti
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, fully recovered journalist, good friend, Clint Brewer. Clint, it's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and may have a touch of irony. I got an interesting story here.
I love the Wink Martindale lead up to the News Potpourri.
It's great.
The game show.
Game show.
Intro.
We love it.
I love it.
Yeah. It's very schmaltzy, but we love it. Michael Dell is a billionaire.
Yeah.
And the founder of Dell Computer. Mm-hmm. He and his wife made news this morning. Did you see this? They are giving $6.25 billion with a B to this Trump account thing, which is the Trump account is to set up an account for young children. And basically every child born in the United States for the next 3 years will get like $1,000 into that Trump account. And there's some federal money in it, but they just that's what they're i've never really thought that much about Michael Dell, but it's a pretty darn good thing to do.
Well, he's done a lot for the city of Austin.
Has he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Trouble in Ford electric vehicle land. They're going big on EVs.
They were.
Yeah. They just 3% of total Ford car and truck sales in November were EVs. Just 4,200 vehicles.
It doesn't bode well for Blue Oval City in West Tennessee.
It does not. Although I think they've made some adjustments, since maybe they're not going to do production of electric trucks there. Maybe they'll do regular production.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be the safer
cranking
bet.
out some good old-fashioned Ford F-150s off that line.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Costco?
Fan is a strong word. I'm pretty convinced that a lot of the people who hate America probably visited a Costco at one point. It's hard to go there. It's like the worst of our society in some ways. Overconsumption, overeating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just buying stuff you don't need. There are no deals there. You just buy more of it.
Costco has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration asking for a full tariff refund. And, of course, that's on SCOTUS right now. They're going to deal with that. I think it's dicey for the president. But we'll see what the Supreme Court does in the initial case on that.
Costco in Mount Juliet, Tennessee on a Saturday is horrific.
Yeah.
I don't like going.
So Donald Trump is holding his 9th cabinet meeting today.
Wow. That's a lot.
Significantly.
Compared to his predecessor.
Who never held it. And they're all public. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
He brings everybody into the room.
They C-SPAN
reporters
it? What
are
do
there.
they do?
No, it's
they like a
Fox
White
News.
House. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's live. He's making a point because sitting directly to his right, Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
Now, what's the point going on there? Well,
vote of confidence.
Yeah.
Vote of confidence. Standing by him in the face of the situation in Venezuela.
Yeah, and the guys what they're trying to do is they're trying to undermine the executive authority of the president.
Right.
By, claiming that going after narco-terrorists and bombing their boats twice is somehow illegal.
Right.
No. Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit at all. I don't know what to make of this. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner?
Yeah.
They're kind of the deputies of Trump dealing with international negotiations. They're meeting with Vladimir Putin today. I have to tell you, just to give my honest guess there, I don't think Putin is dealing in good faith. I don't think he wants that war to be over.
I don't think he ever deals in good faith.
No. And I don't think he wants this to be over. I think he's just, stringing everybody along. He's waiting, I think, to see how long it will take for the fraud in Ukraine to bring Zelensky down.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's probably just trying to wait President Trump out. I mean, It's 2 years is not a lot of time for Vladimir Putin. I mean, he has thought about what he's doing now in terms of decades, not years. You know,
Mike Johnson, I think, is really, really working it. The Speaker of the House. He was here all day yesterday.
He was here. He did a great job. He always does.
He really does. I heard him speak at the Tennessee Statesman Dinner. He was fabulous.
He's thrown himself in the job in a way we haven't seen too many speakers do.
He's exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
Kevin,
and a really good parliamentarian. I mean, he's figured out how to get things through.
Well, he's a graduate of LSU School of Law.
Yeah.
A constitutional attorney.
Yeah.
He's
a smart guy.
Smart guy. But there's trouble in paradise. Not that it's paradise for him.
I don't know if the House is ever paradise, regardless of who's in charge.
How would you like to have his job right now?
That might be the hardest job in America.
I think it might be.
At least in politics it is.
But there's trouble with Elise Stefanik.
Huh.
She's coming out now, and she's criticizing him because she has basically been trying to pass legislation in response to the FBI's investigation into the 2016 presidential campaign in Russia. Well, she announced yesterday that congressional leaders were keeping her provision out of the sweeping defense policy bill known as National Defense Authorization. She's upset about that. And she's given Johnson a hard time.
Well, we don't always get our way. Play nice with others. Be a team player.
Yeah, she's running for governor of New York. The polls there from Siena University, show her way behind. Way behind.
So this is going to help her?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, if you were a sane person, and if the electorate in New York State were sane, she would easily win. But I think all the sane people from New York, like me, have left a long time ago.
Yeah.
And those that are left just don't have the gumption.
Well, if you're a sane person, you might not be running for governor of New York.
Amen to that. Clint, it is a delight having you here.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow. Up next, Rob Carson. Go to our website, TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
Flatfeenashville.com, flatfeenashville.com.